Hey kids, whoa, that was fast. Jumping right out of there. How you doing, buddy? How you doing, Roy?
I'm doing good, my friend. Very good indeed. How are you?
I'm doing good. Just want to wrap up where we left off last time. As usual, the way this show goes, I take out a slab of clay and start karate chopping it, kind of like Bruce Lee, right? And I turn it into something. I turn the clay into something that works. And Rory, as the sensei, kind of sits back and says, "But Mark, to make it more flexible, wouldn't you want this structure instead?" And I'm like, "Later, Rory, if I have the need." And I just chop it up till it works, and then I have the need. And so last Friday, I think when you weren't here, Rory, we essentially refactored, just like we always do on this show, right? Where
refactoring is good.
And we're done. And that's Codebase Alpha. Welcome, Codebase Alpha. Always welcome at the beginning of the show. Just talking about what we were doing on Friday.
Yep.
We took the this awesome theme music player. It's awesome, like loving it. This is for the Dungeons and Dragons live stream, but we can use it here too, right? You know, we want some foreboding music. Let's do it. I'll just hit this button down here. Let's see if we hear it coming in. Yeah, refactoring is great. So we took something that worked really well for one thing and then made it work for another thing. And we did that with a refactoring suggestion that Rory had. So here's my foreboding music. I can individually control the volume. Let's make it loud. I'll click up here. Oh yeah. This gives you a good sense of some of the code we're going to be writing today. Ooh. Play that when Mark starts to write code when Rory is not on the stream. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. This is going to let you know what's going to happen when Rory has to leave.
See, I was thinking that the foreboding music was kind of pointing at something Mark's going to go, but, you know, because he's led us into this false sense of security that, you know, things have always been going well. By the way, you might see it as sort of the chopping the clay and you know, I come along and help out. I'm looking at you riding a bike really well, and then I come and jab a stick in the spokes. You know, that's it. We're sprawling everywhere. So I don't quite see it in the same light, but somewhere in between those two perhaps lies the truth.
Yeah, well, you're right. I think...
Rory's way is funnier.
Oh, wait, hold on. Karen, jumping in. What do you want to say, Karen? I had you muted.
I just said Rory's way is funnier.
Rory's way is funnier?
Yeah, I like
that he's jabbing a stick? You like that? It's funny to imagine me. You like imagining me on a bike and Rory just jamming the stick in the spokes?
I really like imagining that,
Okay,
actually.
well, go to your happy place, honey. Go to your happy place, baby. Nobody's going to criticize you. No judgment.
I think there's a little judgment.
No, you're fine. Oops,
Surely
there I go. Deepwater's with us. Hey, Deepwater. Hey, Deepwater. Speaking about Deepwater, so I don't have a fanfare for you yet, but check out what I did that's kind of a little bit like Deepwater. Let me change the music to battle here a second. And as we go to battle, though, I'm going to show you this is one of the effects for when one of the characters over here goes into rage. And this character is like a water genasi, so water and fire is kind of the elements of it. Here comes the rage effects for it. Check this out. See what you think about this, Deepwater. It's pretty cool for rage effects, huh?
I like that.
Yeah. We did. This is a character that has not been, we've not played live yet. Hold on, let me get the music down here, kids. That's for a character that that's not seen the light of day yet. We've got a second team. Karen's managing the ladies, and they are practicing, and they had a practice last night, and by golly, they were really good.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to them going live. I think they're going to go live in maybe about 3 weeks, and a couple more practices. A few more things. Wishing a horrendous accident on your partner is so sweet, says Codebase Alpha. Hello, you got one of the giant stream decks? Wow, nice effects. Yeah, Frank, I have actually, we've got 3 of the giant stream decks. One on my machine, one on my desk, and then our other 2 dungeon masters each have one of the giant ones so that they can go through and choose the effects. It's incredibly effective for running the game. So they have control of music like this. And what we were talking about before was we were saying, hey, let's refactor and take something that was dedicated to just play music, but also combine it with other abilities, give it other abilities, and we refactored on Friday to make this work. And so, like for example, I come here and I click on rain. We should be able to hear rain with your music mixed together.
Yeah. There it is.
Let me make it loud. I'm going to click on this button up here. There you go. You can hear it for sure. Let's do it normal right there. So there you go. So you're going to hear that.
This is great because not only have you got the choice of sound on two different, I assume, players, but also now you've got the independent ability to control those volumes. So it's not like you have to make the combined effect louder and lower. You can have louder rain over softer music and vice versa.
Right. Yeah, I'm even going to, after talking to the DMs, I'm going to create two different groups, light rain and heavy rain, because sometimes the mood calls for a light rain, and sometimes it calls for heavy rain. In fact, I've even got this thunder button here. This does something else. This is called sound effects. It plays the thunder, and look, this is that syntax we were using to indicate I've got 5 different thunders out there, thunder MP3s. Nice. So I can hit this button here, or the DM can do it like now, right? So imagine you're in battle or something like that, and then you have some dramatic elements. So you say, and the bad guy turns and looks at you, and he says, "You're going down," you know, or whatever that is, right?
And so to do that, I'm assuming you've now got a third layer going on. So you've got your mood music, your mood weather, essentially, and then sound effects over the top. You can have all 3 playing at once.
Yeah, the sound effects actually are kind of an unlimited number of layers. So I could have like 100 buttons up here and hit them all, and they would all just load up and play on top of each other. So
nice.
So there's another one. I just hit the button again, right? So kind of very cool. And then the third one we're going to do, but we haven't done yet, is ambience. So you'll be able to select a location like the beach or a market or the forest. And based on that location, you're going to see, you're going to hear the sounds of that location. You'll be able to.
So the beach might have just lapping waves gently in the background.
Right, and there's no code changes required. I just have to create a folder, specify what folders have the sounds.
We need your help.
Genesis Q7's coming in. Hold on, I'm going to give him some lightning. Now. There we go.
Nice.
Now. And now. Yeah.
See, I can see you having laser sounds as well, just, you know, for randomly throwing into anybody's intro.
Sure.
Especially a certain peacock-based one, you know?
Sure.
Hey.
What?
There are laser beams in that. That would
He
be
said,
suitable.
Roy
That's
said,
not bad.
why are you listening on our show, honey? What are you doing over there? You just monitoring me?
I'm checking up on you.
Oh, man. All right. So yeah, that's what we did. Today, we're going to take a step away from this. So that's the audio is essentially done. It is not as sophisticated in some ways as our Code Rush music soundtrack boombox player.
Yeah.
And the reason it's not is because the Code Rush one knows to turn its volume down when a fanfare plays.
Sure.
Whereas this one doesn't care about that because it's not intended to be used in here. So if anything, I'd have to keep an eye on that and come out here and hit this low button or something, you know, or maybe even a stop button like that. Let's do the stop button. We'll get the Code Rush music player going up for now. There we go, coming up. All right, so today, what are we going to do?
Good question.
GPU's high. I've got some players that shoot bow and arrows. Willie's one of these guys. He's got a short bow. Where is it? Right there. Boom. But when I hit it, nothing happens. There's no animation. When I choose a short sword, there's animation, right? And you can see over inside of the inside our chat room, he's ready to attack with a short sword. Surly Dev's out there. Greetings, Surly. Welcome.
So previously there's no bow animation, but equally there's no bow announcement either.
Right. There's nothing. And it's just kind of like quiet. Surly says hi. I want to make it so it is not quiet. I want to do something here. So I want to figure that out, how to do it. Now, I haven't worked in weapons with weapon stuff in a while. So I think the good place to start on that is, and by the way, I'll just show you what buttons I'm hitting on my Stream Deck. Just clicking on admin right here. And then I'm clicking on my data right there. And then I'm coming in and I'm going to click on, do I have a weapons button? I don't. But these are going to just bring up the same spreadsheet. They just show different active tabs here. Did I hit the button or
Sure.
not? Yeah, I did. Okay, so this is loading up here. Down in the bottom, I've got weapons. Well, there's two things. One is the players have references to the weapons they carry. So if we look at where there's Willie right there. Look at Willie. Jump out to the side over here. Let's hide the scroll. It looks like you already beat me to it. I heard you
Just, only just.
Dylan, you're awesome, buddy. Wait, did I miss it? Spells, weapons. So these are the weapons right here. And so one of the things that's kind of interesting is you can list a weapon that is looks like I'm disappeared on this page right here. Let me jump back over the other one. You can list a weapon and pass it parameters if you want to. And do I say what the parameters are? I think I do. Show more. Specify parameters. Parameter order. Weapon name is in quotes. Hit damage bonus. So if it's a plus anything, it's got magic. Okay. And then the weapon hue and the magic hue. So you can set up the hues for the magic. Any of the hues can be the word player to use the player hue. So if
Look at past you being really helpful by providing helpful instructions. That's really good.
I know. I want to go back in time and talk to past me and say, hey, good job. But you know what?
Yeah.
I can't do that. But today, if I write any comments like that, I'm going to make sure I talk to myself about that and say, good job. It's me from the future, Mark. And by the way, I'm much sexier than you are now. And I'll be like, wow, how'd you do that? Can't say, but it's awesome. It'll be something like that. That'll be my conversation.
Fair enough.
So I want Shortbow to do something. And then I've also got a character here, Thomasina, I think, has got a longbow. Okay? So I've got some characters that have bows.
Yeah.
The difference between the two will be scaling, Shortbow and longbow. I'm going to use the same effect. I have created, where are we? Here we go. Some 3D effects over here. I've rendered them out into AVIs. Okay? I've got the arrow. Holy cow! Legendary Moo is here!
Wow.
I've seen Legendary Moo in like years. Legendary Moo, just in time, these guys just got here. Get him! Get him! That guy especially, get him! That's what I'm talking about.
That's good.
He always thinks he's going to get away. How you doing, Legendary Moo?
I've never seen the introduction Mr. Announcer guy threw out there. It says, to err is human, to moo bovine. That's brilliant.
Nice.
I don't know if that was you or Surly, but that's brilliant.
I'm going to say that is Surly. I think Surly did that. Moo, where you been?
Very good.
Buddy? Yeah, Mr. Announcer guy's got a custom announcement for Legendary Moo right there. It wasn't you. I think it was, buddy. Okay, so check it out. I've got arrow and I got fire for the arrow. Is anybody else excited about fiery arrows?
Combining fire with things is fun.
Yeah. No, it's awesome.
What can possibly be wrong? It just makes everything better. Explosions and fire.
I've got the bow animation. The arrow sits on top of the bow. And I've got the bow magic back. This is just goes along the stretch of the string. And then I have a magic layer for the front. This one is along the shaft of the arrow. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements right now in AVI. I'm going to combine the bow and the arrow. So ultimately we'll have 4 elements. We'll have the bow and arrow together as one animation. We'll have optional magic for the string, optional magic for the shaft of the arrow, and optional fire or some other similar effect for the head of the arrow. So it's going to be a pretty sophisticated effect.
Yeah.
And where I want to go, I don't have support for this yet, but see over here in the ammunition, I want to be able to do the same kind of thing here, where I put in parens and I say like, fire arrows or ice arrows, something here, ice, and then I specify +1, that's the offset, and then I specify the hue shift, which is going to be maybe like 120 for like blue, that kind of thing. I want to do that so when an ice arrow is loaded into the short bow, you see the effect with the ice arrow. So it's going to require some changes to our code to make all this work. We're probably not going to get all this done today, but getting the ammunition so that it does that and it overrides this other piece here, because what we just read says that, look, the magic Q1, magic Q2, and magic Q3, those are for optional magic effects, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to say any arrow I put on there is always going to have the same effect. I don't want to do that. I want to override it with the ammunition. So, and that also means we have to keep track of ammunition. So if I shoot an arrow, our ammunition count's got to drop. So this is probably all week we're going to be working on just getting this whole thing to totally work. Legend Moose says, hey, so it's been a long time. Did Mark ever get his code reading these Google Sheets instead of having to save them locally? No, Mark did not. No, Legendary Moo. It's been a long time.
We have done many other cool things, though.
Yeah. It could be self. It says the GPO cannot take it, Captain. He can't take it. You know what I say to that? Throw more PNGs at the problem. We're going to throw even more. I'm going to keep going until the GPU
We're
chokes.
throwing more GPUs and CPUs. We're now running from 2 machines, right? Whereas previously it was just the one.
Right. We are running from a second machine. And the second machine is all it's doing is it's doing Skype. That's it. But it's enough to take my first machine and have it be like, oh, okay, I got this. By the way, this problem that's bugging, you know, this problem with the coins going like this?
The one that they sync up, don't they? Yeah.
I don't know why they're syncing up, but it occurred to me this morning how we can fix it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we can fix it.
Turn it off and on again?
It's a hard code to fix. Yeah, we can do that as well. But let's see if we can find coins down here. What do we got here? Coins in the drone game. Coins. That's the one I want to go to. And here's where we add a new coin. No, that's not it. We're looking for coins.add. Coin, new sprite proxy. This is it right here. So I want to do this. I want to say coin dot something override we added. We added an override ability over here. Over animation frame interval override is equal to, I'm going to change its frame interval just a little bit. So even if they do try to sync up, they'll be at different speeds. And I'll be like, gotcha.
Oh, I see.
I out-tricked you. Frame interval? No, I'm not seeing that. Is it not in, maybe it's here. Frame interval? No? Where's my frame interval cap? I thought it was maybe in base animation. Let's go back to base animation. Look in there. Look for frames. No. I thought for sure it would be called interval.
You would
same
think, yeah.
Same thing, no interval here. I have something last time we advanced the frame. Frames, animate frames. Come on! All right, let's go drill into base animation here. Let's go look and explore. How do we figure out the interval?
Did I see something there a moment ago was advance frames? Would that be having to use the interval in order to determine how many to advance? Or something like that?
Oh, you know what? Interval. It's private.
Okay.
I'm going to make it public.
Private on the base of the constructor, so...
I'm going to make it public. Wait. Yeah. Whoa, dude, put some pants on. Seriously. Can't believe what I just had to just gander my eyes on. Jesus, Michael, get out of here. Put some pants on that taco. Michael. Thomasina, that's from the all-girls show. Right now I've got a couple different mixes up here. Thomasina is from the all-girls Dungeons & Dragons team. The team is excellent. The Dungeon Master is awesome. She's so good. She's like, she's really good. Like I have Dungeon Master envy. I would like her to be a Dungeon Master I would like to play with her as a Dungeon Master, but I can't because I identify as a non-girl. Nope, says Karen. Nope. Jumping in. Oh, she's coming in for an appearance. There she is, the one who rules the house. She who must be obeyed. How you doing, baby?
I'm perfect in every way. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm good.
What are you doing up here?
I'm just
Need some help?
Yeah, I do. I'm like trying to. Should I make frame interval public? Is my question.
No.
I just did. No, keep it private.
Keep it private.
All right. She's
Keep your frame interval to yourself, please.
That's right. She's probably right.
Can you have
All right.
some frame interval modesty?
Yeah, okay. So that is, I think, my problem here. So now do I have frame interval? There we go. Now I've got it here. I'm going to keep it public for just a minute, and then I'll probably
You know
change
what?
it back
I'm
just
out.
because you're right.
Forget it.
You're right on everything, honey. All right, so now I've got the frame interval. What I want to do is I want to say, I think we got a random out here. Random dot between, and my min number is going to be my frame interval times 0.8. And my max is going to be the frame interval at times 1.2. So now I'm going to have a slightly different frame interval override for every single coin.
Yeah.
So let's
So
see.
effectively, it won't matter if they sync up at any single moment because they'll be moving at different speeds as
Yeah.
well as different points within it.
Exactly.
So they'll fall in and out of sync with each other. There'll be no hope of them syncing up again.
That's what I think. The downside to this is this bug is a super interesting bug. It's a super interesting bug.
Yeah.
And I'm actually keeping myself from finding it. If you ever want to find that weird sync up bug, coin spin bug, comment out this line, Mark. And now future Mark is saying, Mark, good job with that comment. That really saved us. And I'm like, hey, you're welcome. So so there we go. I've just had a conversation.
So I got a question. When you get the function random dot between and it takes an upper and lower limit, what's the correct phrase? What's the level or the resolution on the value, I suppose? So it can be 0.8 times, as you've said, and was it 0.2? I can't quite see because the chat's in the way. But can it go 0.85 and 0.851 and 0.85? You know, how far decimal point-wise will it go?
I think as far as it's supported, because I think we're just doing math.random call right here, and then multiplying it by the difference plus the min.
Because I guess the question becomes is how many different random values between A and B could there conceivably be, and thus when multiplied by the actual frame interval for an individual coin, basically how much variation are we likely to get? Because Codebase Alpha's there being a little bit smug and saying, I'm betting the coins know better. But statistically, let's say there's 1,000 different variations. We've got nowhere near that many coins. I think they're way more. We're on a winner here.
I think you're talking about basically what you're asking the question is, what's the revolution of a random number, right? How many digits out or is that thing going to go? And
kinda.
So I think we're good.
Either way, it's pretty big. I'm gonna say, we're safe here.
Let's see what
the
it looks
odds on
like.
these coins syncing up is.
Where's my drone game here? I'm not seeing the drone game. Oh, there it is, right there. All right, here we go. We're gonna refresh the drone game. That's gonna kill our music for a sec. Let's see how the coin spins are working. Ooh. Yeah, I'm kind of seeing it. Am I? Wait. I'm seeing two sync up at the top near the word code rush. Right up in this space. Right there. Those
the
are
two
totally...
next to it are very close to each other
what the
as
hell
well.
is happening?
That's Codebase Alpha, what have you done?
What?
Modified. Look, there's 4 on the left there that are pretty much identical. How is that possible?
What is going on?
Resolution of new random numbers, so that several in a row are getting the same random number.
Could it be that maybe add coin is not what's being called here? That it's called from another? Oh, look, it's not. That's not where I wanted to be. So I did all that awesome work, and it's not being called. Let's go find out where it is. Hold on. Let's keep going through coins. Coins collected. Coins destroy all. Add coin. It's really here? Add coin is called from what? Start game. Oh yeah, we are kind of doing that. I could set a breakpoint. We could look at it. I don't know. Start up some music. This is not where I wanted to be today. How are they
distractions?
How the heck are they syncing up?
And they're even more synced up now, because look, there's like about 7 on the left there.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna.
They're getting more and more synced up as time moves on. This is the problem we were talking about.
What the heck is going on? Mark, get back here one day and fix this coin sync issue. All right, I'm gonna look at it later. I don't want to work on it today. We're just gonna look at it. You'll see it, and we'll kind of try to figure that out. It's really surprising to me that didn't make the change. That didn't fix it. Yeah, I'm almost like
there's no possibility that frame interval override is a static, is there?
No. No, here, I'll jump into it. It's right there. That's an instance, as instancey as it gets. Advanced frames is in there. Are we calling it advanced frames on the coins? Let's go look at the coins. Just draw, I think, is what calls advanced frames. Super draw. Oh, we're in the wrong place. We're in Splat Sprites here. Hold on, keep going. Yeah, because there's all these different draws out there. Hold on, let's go back. Go back. I wanted to, instead of tapped index reference, drill into it. Here we go. Advanced frames is there. So it is, advanced frames is being called. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me that these are syncing up. I have to, it feels like a problem in advanced frames, but we've seen evidence that, I believe Mark wanted the coins spin at different rates. Yeah, that's what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's what I just tried to do, but it did not work. And I'm like a little flabbergasted, but I'm not going to do any more. I'm just going to be like, okay, I'm going to get back there. We're going to get back there and work on that later. I got a comment in there. Take a look at it later. Okay. So here's what I'm doing today. First, I need to generate the the files for it. Those files are going to be. I showed you this part right here. This is where these exist. So I'm going to just drag that over. I'm also going to come up and open up my assets folder. Open that in a new window. Here we are right here. And get to weapons down here, and we want to create a new weapon folder called bow, like that. Okay, so there's where we're going to generate. We're going to generate the files to here, to this space. All right, I'm going to grab these weapon magic pieces and drag them into the weapon builder piece that I've got here. And let's drill into a 3D weapon first. So right now I've got what? I've got like a javelin or something in here, right here. You can kind of see it a little bit. I think if I click on this, there you can see the background there. So there's kind of what's going on right there with regard to how the weapon would appear in front of the player. And so I'm going to go into 3D weapon set, drill into that. That gives this kind of funky thing going on here, which is just to make this whole thing work, where we have this lifting phase, and then the swinging phase, and then the slashing or firing phase. Okay.
Yep.
All of these are based on an After Effects animation, which is like 6 seconds long, which lifts up, rocks back and forth twice, and then slices. And so I'm going to clear that one. I'm going to grab the bow and drag it on top. Like that. So now we've got the bow lifting up. Okay. I'm also going to take the arrow and throw it on top of that as well. So there's the bow and there's the arrow. So now they lift up together, and then the arrow fires. Where's the fire?
I really like the way you've got this organized here, because I know we're looking at, is it Adobe Premiere Pro? So I don't know much about this, but the way that you've drilled into this reminds me of programming. You've effectively made a move weapon function that takes a weapon or series of PNGs that just happen to work very cleverly the same sequence, the same, let's say, first 10 frames, do the same thing, but with a different weapon.
Right.
Next 10 frames or whatever, do the second item. And you've got a loop going in there, as we discussed before. So there's the raise the weapon, and then there's the bob weapon left to right, and then there's the attack with weapon kind of thing.
Right.
And it's brilliant because you can just pass in a different weapon set and keep the structure essentially the same.
Yep.
Turn off the old weapon, turn on the old one, and now you can render out exactly what you were looking for.
Yes.
Makes life a lot easier, I imagine.
It's not bad. Now, one of the things I wanted to do, the reason I rendered the arrow separate from the bow is I wanted to be able to give the bow a tint to match the player color. So he says, here's my color scheme for the comment colors. Wait, what is this for?
Surly was suggesting that when you're leaving yourself a to-do, he takes the approach of altering the color scheme of the to-do to be a really bright yellow that catches his eye, and therefore he doesn't scroll past them as frequently because it really catches his eye when he does. So then he remembers to go back and deal with those to-dos. Apparently he contacted support suggesting some alteration or other. I wasn't quite clear on what that was, but this is a link to that suggestion.
Oh. So CodeRush doesn't have the option yet, and we want to add the option. Is that what the request is? I thought CodeRush could do this. But it looks like, let's see what's going on here. Comment color. Whoops.
I suspect it's more he's suggesting a better color by default. But I think it'll depend on maybe what you're with your light or dark background, maybe.
Right. Now I get that. Let's do it yellow and throw it out here. See what that looks like in the code. Yeah, I like it. It certainly works on my dark theme really well. All right.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to tint the bow, and then so that I can hue shift the bow to match the player color. So my player color is purple. So if I ever brought up a bow, it might have a purple tint. If I shift it, if I hue shift it and add that color to it, I can also subtract it later if I just want to have a regular, like, low saturation bow, or like a kind of a no color bow. So, but if I don't put it up there, then I can't hue shift it. The other thing that I was playing with, I won't do on the show, but I could just make the handle be a color and the rest of the bow be normal wood. So that kind of shows up, and kind of that's how you brand that bow. But I'm going to go ahead and take the whole bow right now. So I'm drilling into the weapon set, drilling into the pieces, the reference to the 3D weapon. And then I'm going to go get that bow, and I'm going to drop on color balance onto it. And then I'm going to make it go red. And so the way we've done this, let's see, where do we want? Effect controls here. To make it go red, I'm just going to take the red shadow and bring this up. Let's take where's our program? Right there. Let's drop it over here. Come on. Right there. Did that work? That seems really slow. Yeah, it worked. Okay. So, effect controls. So I'm just going to take my red and I'm going to crank up the red. Give it some tint. I'm also going to take my green and blue and drop them down. Not too much. Not too much. But I'm going for red. If I get these two balanced here, the subtraction here, so make this negative 32. Let's zoom this up to like 100%.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. So now I've got a little bit of a tint going here.
Yep.
It's not bad. And I look at this, Roy, and I think, oh, geez, yeah, maybe I do want to crop it so it's just in here. Let's just look at what it would cost us to do the crop. Gonna fit for a second here. All right, let's go back to 100%. So the look I'm considering is something like this, a little bit right here. Let me get rid of the crop. Like this. So it's got the handle in there. Let me click away from that so that we can see. So that's kind of what I was considering. I've just decided in this moment I don't like it.
No?
No. I'm going to go back to this. So we got the overall tint to it. The cool thing about that is that our engine, our graphics engine that we built, can come in and hue shift this later, like this.
Yes.
Now I'm not liking this so much. It's kind of lost some contrast in here. Let me try dropping this down a little bit here. Notice we're getting more contrast back as I drop down the amount of red that we bring up.
Sure.
That's feeling a little bit better to me. If I bring down saturation too, yeah, so we can just be a subtle kind of thing like this. And so our engine can do things like this, kind of give it a little bit of a shift so it looks a little bit different. I'm going to take this away for now. So there's what it looks like there. Now it's an independent color from the arrow. I'm going to take both of these together,
Yes.
and I think I'm going to nest these together, and I'm going to just say bow and arrow. Like that. Okay?
So for purposes of actually rendering out our PNGs, you're still going to have a separate arrow and bow, though, right?
No, I'm going to render these
You're
together.
not.
I just need these together.
Okay.
The reason why is because I figured out that I was thinking about having a magic effect behind the arrow, but I realized if I just put it on top of the arrow along the shaft, it's totally fine and believable. I'll show you what that looks like. Here, let's go out here to the weapon builder. So that's what we've got now. Let's go, we'll turn on our special effects on the front. That's for another weapon. We're going to drill into that, drill into this. We are going to turn off the javelin, and we're going to start throwing stuff in here. This is the front. So I have two effects for the front. I have magic effect, which is, that's along the arrow shaft right there. Looks sweet.
Yep.
And I've got my fire effect. Okay, I've got both of those. There's my fire. So if we go back to the weapon builder up here now, and as we move through it, you can kind of see what's going on. If we have the fire, right, like this.
It's interesting because you would assume, and I had been assuming, that you'd want to keep the arrow separate so that you could color it after the fact using code. But the reality is that what you want to do is to overlay a magical effect, one or more in fact, and those are the things which you will color after the fact and get the same effect anyway.
Right. Now, one slight problem, I don't know if this is going to be a problem or not. The fire takes longer to go away than everything else does. Right? See the trail of the fire? The arrow's already gone, is essentially out of frame in the next shot, but the fire should still be there. And I think I want to fade out the fire. That's what I think I want to do. So let's go to our special effects front. Let's get to the end of the fire right here. And let's just go to the last few frames of this. Oh, wow. That's tricky. So it actually does go all the way out, but the problem is everybody else is off screen and done by then. Hold on, let's compare with the magic from the javelin. When's the javelin off screen? Javelin is off screen like about there. So that's kind of where we want that opacity to drop. So for this, I'm going to go in and click on opacity. I'm going to set a marker here. We'll come back and change that. I'm going to go back maybe 1, 2, 3 frames. And set a marker here. So we're just putting a keyframe in there. And then we go forward 1. And let's 2, 3. This one, I think I want to be at like 20% opacity right here. So it'll go down to about 20% in those 3 frames. So now what happens is I think it'll look less problematic. What's happening? I don't know what that is. Rendering. I might have hit a key somewhere that I didn't want to do. All right, so let's look at that one more time. So we're coming in here. There it is, and it's kind of going away. It's all right. It's not the best, right? Fire doesn't really just fade out like that, but I think that might look better than the sudden shutting off, which is what I think we were seeing before. And there it is right there.
Fair comment.
Yeah, I think that's okay. It's going to be okay. I think it's going to work. Okay?
Cool. Yep.
So, all right, so we've got our fire, and then the back effect, I'm just going to, so you can see them all together. Let's go into the back. Same thing, drill in. Here's my back effects, and we're going to put in the effect for the bow. Here it comes right here. All right, go back to Weapon Builder. Let's turn it on just so we can see it. Okay, my front, I forgot in the front, right here. I need to turn off the javelin. Okay, back to weapon builder. And so now you can see what it's going to kind of look like here at different points wherever we are in this, right? So there's the fire dripping down as it came up, or the trail of the fire as it came up. We might have a problem. Do we have a problem? I think we're supposed to, I think I've got a 2-second animation. We might have a problem with the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Chatwin's in the way. Thanks. Let's go fix that. The problem with the fire might be is I think we go 15 frames in, half second to get it up, and then we go for 2 full seconds and then back over to here. Which means that when we go from here, we're going to, and cycle around, we're going to jump to that. I don't think I'm going to be able to do fire in this pass. Fire is trickier to do. So,
fair enough.
So let's not do fire. But you can see, you've got to get a sense of what it's going to look like.
Well, yeah. I mean, the magical effect over the bow is really quite nice.
Yeah, I think it's not bad. It's not bad.
That is, yeah.
Now, for the purposes of being able to see all these, I rendered these at different colors. And I joined the Discord channel, got too many chat programs these days. Says Legendary Man. I rendered these in different colors so that we could see them on top of each other, but we're going to turn them all red before we get out, before we generate.
Sure.
I'm disappointed about that fire. I have to give that some thought. I think it needs a longer entrance time before it starts looping. Could we do that? Fix it even with the existing animation? Because when does that stop? Because this one doesn't move, right? We could get to here and loop back just for the fire. In other words, from here, from like say we do the fire in 1.5 second intervals. In other words, from there to here should be pretty close. They're not too far away. We might be able to fix fire with a little bit of thought. All right. Okay, so let's go into special effects front. We're going to turn off the fire for now. We are going to take our bow color and we're going to hue shift it so it's red.
Because red's effectively our base color.
Yeah, it's hue 0.
And on the assumption that everything will be red, we can then give a fixed quantity to shifting to blue or green or yellow or whatever it should be.
Yeah, exactly. I'm feeling like that's about a red right there. I think that's a red. Okay, so that part is cool. We can come back over to the weapon builder. We can turn off everything except for the front and generate just that front effect right there. So let's do that. Let's grab our target folder, which is, got it on the clipboard. Come over here, generate. And here's our bow. We're going to call this, wait, hold on a second. Effects, weapon effects. I want to see how I'm doing this. I feel like this name is used to figure out the file name, but I could be wrong. So, Dev, can you sweep these coins up with the drum?
So, if not
They're
that,
instinct.
then what?
This is bothering me. That's a good question. Let's go look at the code. How are we loading these up? Hold on. Sorry, I'm going to do one. I'm not going with yellow here. I want to get kind of an amberish color. I want it highly saturated, but a little more in that space right there. Okay. Okay, so the weapons. This is in the Dragon front game. Dragon front game. Right there. Let's go find the club. So I think the first thing is the folder. The other one's the animation name. So it really doesn't matter. So we can do our own thing on this. We're just going to call load weapon, right? We can call it anything we want. So it doesn't matter. It's independent of what's here. Okay. So I'm going to call this. I'm going to give it more meaningful names than I otherwise would do. So this is we're going to call this arrow magic, and generate the whole thing. Am I good with the size? I'm asking about this size right here. The problem I have, before I generate this, the arrow goes off screen there. If I turn on the 3D weapon piece, it's hard to see here. It's hard to see with the black background.
Yeah.
Let me throw in a... but what's happening is this back of the arrow is going to be cut off right here. Is a slight problem. Maybe not. Maybe not, actually. I'm going to be okay with it. And how tall? Can we shorten it at all, or is it going to be okay? It's okay. It's going to fit in here. I'm going to be okay with all of this.
Cool.
All right. Okay, so back out here again. Magic, arrow. Generate the whole sequence. Oops. Dang. I'm going to hit export and then cancel it. Just because I wanted to save the folder and everything so I don't have to do it again. I forgot to remove me from the back of this. And I forgot to remove this. Okay, one more time. But at least now it'll remember the folder right here. No, it didn't. Oh, okay, fine. Magic arrow. Like that. Do the whole sequence. There it goes. All right. So there's the arrow. Magic. One more time with feeling. We didn't check in with Fred.
We didn't, no.
Fred, how you doing, buddy? He's good? By the way, when I've got Adobe Premiere generating like this, it's like it sucks things up. It sucks up my
oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's do, you know what? I'm going to generate the fire so we can at least see the problem. Okay?
Okay.
I'm going to do that. Now, I also want to similarly shift its hue because we'll make it fire if we want to, but I also want to be able to make it like blue or whatever for ice, that sort of thing. So I'm going to try to get it to as close to as what I identify as red as I can, which I think is about there. So there's that. And go back to Weapon Builder. Now we've got only the fire effect. I think we can fix this, Rory.
You do?
Yeah, just by changing its loop back frame number. Because the bow is still relatively still, because the fire is such a imprecise effect, I think the bow will go up, and all we have to do is change that number where it loops back, and I think it'll be okay. The only problem is on the fire, because it's not entirely in sync. If I make it a fraction, like if I made it 1/2 of the frame rate of the loop frame count, I think we can make it work maybe. Look at what Surly's doing. He's like saying, I'm going to take more of Mark's CPU, is what he's saying.
You don't need that CPU.
What's that, Mark, you're saying? Your CPU is getting strained? Let me help with that, says Surly. Okay, so there's my magic arrow. Now I'm going to say arrow flame, like this. Entire sequence. Go. Yeah, you're stress testing. Yeah, look at the frame rate drop.
A little bit.
See what happens when I do this. Stop.
Anyone else think we need some dice in this moment?
You want to see inspiration dice rolling out? Let's see, is that going to work?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's an
Fuel to the
inspiration.
fire, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really slow frame rate right now.
Wow.
Okay.
Probably need a third machine now, eh?
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's get another machine. At least we get a sense of what it's taking to bring the system down to really slow frame rate.
Indeed.
Okay, so we got our
Although
fire.
typically, I imagine you won't be doing too much graphic rendering on the back end, whilst the various shows are going on normally.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, here we go. 3D weapon set. There's that. Let's render that one. We call this bow.
Codebase Alpha says you should have a Skype PC, an OBS PC, and a Surly Dev PC.
That's fair. That's totally fair. That's exactly what I want. Let's run another D12 while we're rendering here. There it is right there. Yeah, you don't even hear the sound effects for a while. This looks so much better at like 30 frames a second, by the way.
Yep.
It's not bad. So, in case you haven't figured this out, as soon as I'm done rendering these, I'm shutting down Adobe Premiere. Okay, now we got to go to the back set. Let's go, there it is right there. Let's go get that guy. Drag a hue shift, color balance shift on that guy. And we're going to change that one so it's red. But look at some of the cool effects, right? You just change the color and it'll look really cool. All right in about there. Just has to be close. Doesn't have to be really perfect. Cool.
Yeah, that's nice.
And bring that up. And now let's render that one. And we're going to call this the bow magic, I think. Do the whole sequence. Go. Someone has the Twitch account, user account SurlyBot, and it's not me. Bastard.
Aww.
Okay. Almost done. Almost free.
Indeed. Have you tried the real Surly bots? Just the legendary move. Because that's, of course, the new thing, isn't it? Having handles with the real and the genuine and various variations on that.
Right. Okay. Saving this out. I just prefix mine with late to the party. So I've got my late to the party Mark Miller, Twitter account, and late to the party Mark Miller Instagram account.
Nice.
And what the hell is Snapchat Mark Miller Snapchat account, and all of these things. Okay, close that sucker down. Close it down. We don't want that anymore.
Give
All
us
right.
our CPU back.
Now,
And our memory and other resources.
I want to see what's going on here. Longsword and short sword, they're just going in here and using these two things. Longsword dot weapon. Magic A. I want to see where Magic A is used. Here. Oh, maybe it is. Maybe it is needed. Okay, so let's try this. Let's go to... So a dagger is a longsword weapon, but it just scales it down. That's what's going on here, is all it's doing. So we're going to add something new here. And the name here is the name that matches up with the weapon. So we've got a longbow, like that. We've got a couple entries for the longbow. And I think these are go 0, 1, 2 for the index here. Whoops. I think I put this in for sorting purposes. It is a wind up. So we're going to do that. The longbow. Let's go look at the folder where we generated this. No, don't do this now. Pudding, I'm trying to show people. Pudding! Pudding, can you hear me? Rory.
Yep.
Pudding, we're going to talk. We are sitting down. We are sitting down. We're going to talk about this behavior. Pudding says he couldn't miss the show. I can't hear you. We're hiding under a lot of pudding. Legendary Moose says accidental pudding. Yeah.
Unexpected pudding. Best kind of
Frank
pudding.
says, oh, you didn't know the crash of Twitch yesterday was all Surly Devs doing. Yeah, I heard about Twitch crashing yesterday. I was
Really?
not streaming because it's a
Missed that.
Monday, and I read about it later in the day. Okay, so we have got some stuff here. So we have got longbow. So let's do this. So one of the pieces is just the bow, right? So it's going to be wind up, and I'm going to say bow.bow. It's a little weird. I should have called that one weapon that I just generated. This one.
Right.
But, you know, I already closed down. We're going to call it bow.bow. It's okay. And that effect is available when play to end on expire. This stuff is coming all the way down. The hue.
I didn't see the specific naming strategy you used in that folder, but can you do a rename and just weapon all of them? And will it
No.
numerically sequence them like
No.
you showed before?
It'll add parens around them is what it'll do. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I'm like,
That's a shame.
let's select both of these and just try it. Let's see. We'll call this weapon. Nope. See what it did? It's yeah, not what I wanted. So I'm going to undo that right there. That's one of the things I love is undo inside Explorer. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I can go back, so I can just try that. And so that didn't work. No, I can't just do that. I need to write a program to do that, or maybe a batch file could do that for me.
Yeah.
Oh, Kobe Salva says, I was streaming when it went down. It was Twitch and my ISP were having problems. Yikes.
Wow.
Pudding says, my laptop fan is making weird sounds. So I'm an old comp now. Yeah. Clean it. Get like suction on that thing. And like a vacuum cleaner or something like that. Do you call them vacuum cleaners over there in the UK, Rory? Or do you call them
Yeah.
something else? Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I guess anywhere between. I think at some stage the old brand Hoover became a synonym.
Yeah.
So one or the other.
So now we're going to say bow dot. I want to look at that back bow magic. Yeah, I totally diverged from my bow magic, my naming convention. And this one I want to say uses magic. This roll is true. Okay. So if we're using magic, and we've got some magic going on, that bow is going to be lit up. And club weapon player. Club magic is also player. It's possible to override that because we're overriding club magic. So it's possible to override that. But we'll go ahead and say use the player magic color here. And we can override that later if a spell or magic effect has that purpose on it. Okay,
Yep.
Then we're going to go to, let's do the arrow magic. Magic arrow. Bow dot magic arrow. Like that. And this one, we're going to say, not uses magic this roll is equal to true, but I think we need something that says uses magic ammunition this roll. Like that. That's equal to true. Like that. And we have to define that. Let's go work on that. Uses magic this roll. Let's go find uses magic this roll. I think that's actually going to be in the C# Dungeons & Dragons app. Here. Uses magic this roll. It's in the character. So I'm going to duplicate this line. Can't duplicate it because I'm running. I'm going to close down the app.
Surly, are you flying two bots now? We've got Surly Dev and the real Surly bot. Both have drones.
What the heck?
Question is, has he already gone out and got the domain name as well, and the Facebook and the Instagram and everything else? Is there real dedication to this?
Yeah.
Is there?
You better be committed to the project. Okay, so we're going to just, I'm tabbing the next reference on all the references to this. Dice roll is magic. Guess what? Dice roll could be magic as well if player dot uses magic ammunition this roll. Okay, uses magic this roll. Creature prepares attack. Not going to change it there, I think. And that's it. So we are going to need something external. Something we're going to add is going to change this. To do when magic ammunition is loaded, set this to true before firing. So we'll have to hopefully figure that out by Friday.
Yeah.
Like that. What's interesting is we changed the to-do color in the other instance of Visual Studio, but it is not updated in here, which I guess kind of makes sense. If I
had cause to read it a second time, I suppose.
Right. So if I go back in though into the options and click OK.
The option screen should certainly do a load of that fact.
Yeah. If I click OK, the question is, will it reload the other options on the other page, or will it not even go for it? It looks like it's not. Looks like I need to go open up that particular page to make it think that there's a, so it's under rich, comments, there it is. Do we see the yellow or the amber? We don't.
Huh.
Am I looking at a bug?
I know we have multiple layers of settings. I wonder, is it possible you set it on a different layer?
No, it should be the
No,
same layer on
seems
both.
fine.
It should be in this, it should be, oh, it might actually be solution personal options. It changes to personal
Right.
options right there. And let's come back. No, let's load it up. No. Let's report a bug. Let's report an issue. There are no bugs, there are only issues. All right, kids. Kind of interesting. Inside of one instance of Visual Studio, I have changed my to-do color to yellow. Just to be sure, I said save out to my personal options. Clicked on that. Like that. I come over here, and it's not the same color. I bring up the dialogue. It's not the same color. Why is that, is my question. Why is that? Why hasn't that updated when I come in here to this page? That's what I'd like to know. And here we go. Let me close up that issue. Rich, comment, color, whoops, rich, different into instances of VS. Still love that we put together that issue mailing item live in this stream.
It's
Yes.
really useful.
It
The
is.
ability to command things directly from the chat or indeed from your Stream Deck, and to trigger capture of the moment in time in the past, no less, that we've demonstrated some, calculate a URL which will show that video to the people who need the information, whilst also getting them all of the logs involved at the same time, just packaging it up nicely.
Yeah.
Just makes everything so much easier for whomever has to track down these issues.
It does. Let's add one more longbow. This is for the fire. Longbow. This is going to be 3. It's a wind up. We're going to call this bow dot. What's the file name? It's going to be arrow flame. I have a feeling somewhere I'm looking for the dot in this effect name and breaking it into 2 different pieces. And now I want to say ammunition on fire.
Sure.
That's true. That's what I think. Effect available when. Which means, now on fire could also mean with ice or something along those lines. but I want to be able to support, this idea that ammunition's on fire, including bringing up like a torch even, or a club that's lit up and on fire at the end. Because I want players to be able to say, I'm going to light this on fire, and then I want to be able to see that.
Yeah.
So play to not expire, yes. I'm going to do this. I'm going to drag these all the way down here. Ammunition on fire is true. And now we've got to go back over to our character. Do we have any issues up at the top? This is serialized and brought down. Uses magic this roll. I wonder if this is... I'm just going to do this. I'm going to go and double this down here. Ammunition on fire. Bring it down to there. Let's go find this. When we reset the state, we'll also reset that. Good. Okay. So now we've got that ability to set ammunition on fire. All right.
There's a clip right there.
Yeah, there's the clip. All right, now I'm going to take this and I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it down here and I'm going to create the same thing for short bow. So I'm just going to change this first part to short bow and then bring it down there. And then those are going to be the changes to the data. And hopefully that'll be, that'll be all the only changes we need to make here. So we're going to say download a common separated file.
Yeah, reading from PDFs is difficult.
Weapon
CSV,
effects right there.
much better.
Yeah, you're right. There's my new weapon effects. Okay, cool. Next, we need to support it down low. So just like we loaded up, like the last one we did is the club right here. We're going to need to create something to load the bow. So we're going to say load bow.
Mm-hmm.
Like this. And we're going to need to figure out that origin. It may be the same origin. It's likely to be similar, but we can open it up just to check, just to see here. Open up one of these. The best one to open. Let's view large icons. Probably like one of these. Just open that up. And that gets in. We'll take a look at that. So load weapon. We're going to change the first part to bow. So that's the folder. Then instead of having it be weapon, because, I blew it, we're going to call this one bow. Right there. That's that one. Then we're going to go to bow again. And this one is going to be...
The arrow flame, was it? Or was that the piece you're looking for?
I want the back, the back piece is what I want. The bow magic is what I want here. And I'm pretty sure this load order, Rory, reflects Z order. So I load my back layer first.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Because when I bring the club up, the magic shows on top of it, right here.
Mm-hmm.
So back magic, bow. Then come down here and I'm going to grab the arrow magic, I think is what I called it. Magic arrow. All kinds of inconsistencies here. Magic arrow. Okay. And
but arguably a system that's flexible enough to let you make those choices.
You're so perfect, Rory, in every way. All right, magic arrow. And then I need to go to arrow flame. Okay, arrow flame. And so if that reflects the Z order, those are the pieces I need. Let's go change these to bow origin. So they're just, it just makes a little more sense. This one right here, bow origin. Let's go. Look who's flying low.
Hey, Jetsam.
A little stuttering here on my machine. I don't know how it's looking on your side. Hopefully better. I am going to say I think that X and Y point is about right here. How's everybody? I think we're good. Consistently inconsistent. Yeah. Surly Dev says, not my fault.
That's just a blanket statement, yeah?
Mark, you please open Notepad, empty, full screen for 2 seconds, please. Yeah, you got it.
He's since said that's not a worry. Don't worry about his disregard.
Okay.
I'm not sure quite why. Perhaps he was looking to check out the appearance of his the real Surlybot on a white and dark background. That would be my guess.
Well, I'm looking at all kinds of stuttering here. Can you check the stream? How are we looking on the stream?
Sure. I did have it up a minute ago. Stream, in fact, is usually better for me than the Skype.
All right, so I'm going to come down here. I'm going to say this is my center point, right? In other words, that center point corresponds to about right there in the chest of the player. So it's right about there is where I want that. So I'm going to say about 380, 770. Okay? Yeah, it is different. 380 and 770. Okay? There's my bow. Let's call it. Let's go find load club. I don't know. Is that all I need to do? Could that really be it? And now all of a sudden this things will start to work. Let's see if we can verify that. Let's go find my instance of Chrome. It's got the front overlay in it. We will refresh that. And just to be sure, I'm going to click that one more time just to make sure. We're going to go to the D&D app. We're going to run it. I feel like I'm missing something, just something that I've forgotten, that I don't know, that sort of thing. By the way, kids, if you haven't seen it, here's one of the rages that one of the characters has. She's a water genasi. Check out this rage. It's pretty cool. Kind of fun when she rages.
That's really nice.
Yeah, it's also we're gonna see the word rage come up there, and it's gonna be like rage is gonna be on fire, and Mr. Announcer Bot's gonna be like rage, you know, like over the top. Okay, we're running. Looks like we're running, getting started. Let's close this down.
So I've been looking at the stream there for a minute or two now, a little bit behind the live, as it were, and there is a certain amount of stuttering on my perspective of this, but it's a little strange. I'm not sure if it's the stream to me or whether it's happening at your end, but I'm looking at the bubbles coming off the top of your head there, the smoke bubbles, and the animation is a bit jittery.
Yeah, I'm seeing that too. I even see rewinds in time where it goes forward and then goes chunk it back like that. And I'm seeing the same thing with me, like little rewinds in time where I'm going forward and then goes back and then forward again. A little surreal. All right, let's initialize player data. Let's go up here. What else can I close down here? I'm having that thing, the graphic card thing, which I haven't had in a week or so.
Oh, the nasty flicker thing.
Happening again, yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to close down some stuff here. So there's the overlay. Let's close this. Let's go to Willie. Let's bring up the short bow. Is anything going to work? Oh, that's awesome.
There we go.
Look at that. Let's roll the attack. The attack is rolling. Let's hide the scroll so folks can see it. And now the arrow should fire. Not bad. No sound effects yet.
No.
You know, we need to add those like a whoosh and a shoot.
But with that last little extra, that'll be quite a complete effect.
Yeah, it's not bad. The other thing that's kind of cool about this is here. Let me bring up the docs file again, and we go to weapon effects. I'm pretty sure we can set individual weapon effects for the fire even. Yeah, you can say start sound and end sound kind of thing. So we can't really have the fire going the whole time, but we could have a fire sound where it goes foof and gradually fades out.
Yeah.
And then when it ends, we can also have a foof sound as well if the fire was active. And hopefully, need to go see us, says Frank. All right, buddy. Thanks for joining us. That was pretty cool. Let's see if we can make things magical. The short bow. Whoops, I forgot. Did I do? Let's go back to weapon effects here. For the short bow, I did not change the scale.
Sure.
So let's go do that. Let's set the scale to 0.6 and pull that down all the way. Let's also make the weapon magical so we can at least see the back string piece. We won't be able to test ammunition on fire yet, but, or uses magic ammunition this roll, but we'll at least be able to see the. Oh, you know what I could do? Let me cut this. Wait. All right, let's do. No, yeah, let's do this for testing purposes. Let's do this. I'm gonna cut just this one. I'm gonna get rid of this. Oh, maybe I can't do that. Let's just grab the text. Cut that to the clipboard. Okay, good. Now I'm going to come in and I'm going to send this out. Weapon effects. So I'm just testing. And I'm going to test just the bow magic on the short bow. That's what I'm going to do. I'll come over here and initialize player data again. And so Thomasina and Willie Thomasina's got a long bow. Yeah, I'm jumping all over the place. It's the weirdest thing. How the heck am I supposed to reset this? I'm rewinding in time. I don't know if you ever saw an old show called Max Headroom, but it was like the guy was like, I like that. That's how I look like.
Jittering, reversing, rewinding, very tape backwards and forwards.
Yeah, I thought I hit initialize player data. Something really weird is happening. Oh, okay, it's just not updating. Okay. All right, so let's see what we got here. Short bow. I'm expecting a smaller bow to come up. Whoops, I'm not looking in the right spot. There we go. And we got magic.
Nice. It's smaller. It's got magic. This is correct.
Let's bring up... And now let's bring up her longbow. No magic this time. And cool. See the shift in purple to the hue to match her color.
Mm-hmm.
All
Very
right.
nice.
Back over to Willie. And bring up the short bow. Good. That's not bad. That kind of works. Okay. That'll look better on a darker background, by the way. These are always looking better on a darker background. Let's do this. I want to start looking at these on the overlay. So I'm going to bring this off to the side. And to reduce strain on my system, I'm going to type in google.com just so that it loads up another page. And now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to paste that in for a second. I guess I have all of the ones I want right up here. So I can just copy these. Let's delete. I'm trying to figure out what do I want to test here. I guess just the magic arrow. Whoops, that's not the one I want to delete. I want to delete this one if I want to test the magic arrow. So let's save this again. And actually, let's undo that a second. Let's test it on the big one. So I have a better view of it, the effect. All right.
Yeah, because we know scaling works now.
Yeah. So
to be
weapon
fair,
effects.
it was expected to be good.
Yeah. Okay, so there's weapon effects there. And let's initialize player data. Whoops. I wanted to come over here and I want to refresh the front overlay here. Just using the latest code. Initialize player data. Let's go to Thomasina. So this would be the effect if she's got a magic arrow loaded.
Okay.
Not seen it, but yeah, it was loading though.
It was loading.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, even if that's the case, to see it light up like that's not a bad effect at all.
It looks
Almost
really...
like magic gets cast on it after the fact.
Yeah. No, it looks gorgeous. I'm loving it. Switch to the dagger, so that the arrow... Oh, she switched to the dagger though. I didn't think about this. So, I don't think you saw it, but this is like going forward and backwards in time, like really remarkably, bizarrely bad. Like, I want to take a movie of this so you can see this. I do not know if this is happening on the stream. I have a feeling it's fine on the stream. Just a second. Let's see what my what's going on out here. Yeah, it's GPU.
Wow. A lot of.
Yeah, what's interesting, it's 100%, but only the
But
numbers
not
aren't adding
made
up.
Of, yeah, the math's not right, is it?
Yeah, not based on what I'm seeing here.
Unless are there child processes. Mind you, that should total still.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I've seen this thing, by the way, happen. Where one of these comes up, the OBS browser page comes up, and it's sucking up a whole bunch of GPU,
Yeah.
but it doesn't, but the others are not, and it doesn't really make sense.
It is a bit strange to have so many if they're not doing anything.
I'm going to turn off the front overlay and see what happens here. I'm going to turn it off now. And what happens here? So the OBS browser page exe cuts in half in terms of what its GPU usage is. Let's turn off the back overlay and see what happens. It kind of eases down. It kind of comes down below in terms of its order right here, right? And then let's turn off the die roller.
A little bit more. Ooh, wow.
Interestingly enough, the no, I'm still having that little kind of glitchy time warp thing that's happening.
But the OSB browser page exe jumped down from 30-ish% to 8-ish% after that last thing was turned off.
Yeah, let's turn the
That's a big drop.
back overlay
Mind
on
you,
again.
Having said that, the rest of it's still up where it was.
Yeah, I'm just going to turn these back on. 1, 2, 3. And then it's jumping up above.
Yeah.
You know what I think this GPU number is? I think it's the largest of the two. I think it's really a total. These two are totaling up. I think that's what's happening, Rory. I think to get this number at the top, these two are... I'm sorry, not here. To get this number up here, every piece is total. But this picks its biggest number. That's what I think is happening here. All right, so what have I done? I've done them all. The front overlay, the dice looks like it needs a refresh. And then let's resend the player data. Gotta go?
Sorry, bud.
That's right.
It's reached that time.
Thank you so much.
A little earlier than normal, but yeah, gotta go feed the family.
No worries. we'll switch the music over to Forlorn. Be sad.
Don't be sad too long.
It'd be interesting to see what happens when. So if you disconnect, what happens?
Does everything fix itself when I leave?
I don't know. We'll see. All right, buddy. We'll talk to you later.
See you later.
All right. Bye-bye. Big thanks to Rory for helping us out with that. Okay, so let's go look at Thomasina. Bring up the longbow. Yeah, here's the problem I was worried about, is if I switch to dagger, it's going to play to the end, which means the arrow shoots. Like that. There's the longbow. The longbow is way too high. Let's fix that. Let's make it 700. That should move it down by about 100. In fact, I almost want to say let's make it 650. Let's refresh. Drag in front overlay. Initialize player data.
Willie. Thomasina.
Longbow. Kobe Salva said, I just followed the real Surly bot. So it won't be the same without you. Bye-bye, Rory. Okay. So if we switch over, this part I don't like so much. We go to dagger. It kind of fires the arrow, but it's I don't think we're seeing it because the frame rate seems to be a little lower. Let's look at it one more time. It's not bad because the dagger kind of comes up before it comes down. So I don't think it really looks like we're shooting the arrow. Like that. I think I'm okay with it. Yeah, it's a cool effect. Okay. It's not bad.
Willie Shaker.
And go to the Willie's short sword. Oops, sorry, not that. I wanted a short bow on that. Click on that. There we go. And I think the height is okay now. It's not bad. Let's check the height on that.
Thomasina.
I think I want to drop it down even more. Let's go to 570. Do that, refresh.
Shaker. Thomasina.
That did not seem to drop it down much. Let's go down 100. One more time. Oh, you know what? I refreshed the wrong overlay. No. Let's keep it right where it is. I need to do the front overlay. So you haven't learned anything from Mark? Of course not. Mark is the one who learns everything from Surly Dev. Okay, initialize player data. And let's do this. I want to turn off the Coder's music. And I'm going to try turning on the, let's do some suspense music for the Dungeons & Dragons show.
Shaker.
I thought I hit it. Did I hit it? There we go. Okay. Short sword. And short bow. That feels right. That's the right height.
Thomasina Cutterbug.
Go to longbow. I think that works. Because her head is going to be a little higher than mine. I'm a little small in this frame, but in this scene, but she'll be bigger. It's not bad. There's a little bit of a flash, but I think it's cool and okay. I think it will totally work. Nice. Okay. Next, let's see if we can fix the flame. Wouldn't that be super cool if we can fix that flame? Let's go figure out what happens in load weapon. Return frame index. That's the key. Where is it going to go back to? Segment size is 60. So these two are both important. The segment size determines how big of a loop it is. If I can cut the segment size in half, instead of being 2 seconds at 30 frames a second to 1 second at 30 frames a second, right? In other words, cut it in half so the segment size is now 30, then that fire should loop and be okay. And because it doesn't move, the tip of that arrow doesn't move a lot, I think the fire will be okay. So that would allow us then to add 30 frames to the return index and change our segment size to 30. So let's go do that. Let's go down to where we load the arrow flame. Let's do an LSP here to create a new sprite proxy here. We're going to call this arrow flame. Gosh, it would be so cool if we could just fix this like that. Set it equal to the weapon like that. And then I want to, what's wrong? Is load weapon not returning a sprite proxy? It's returning sprites. That's totally cool. Let's close the scroll here so we see more code. Sprites, like that. And then we want to come down here and we want to say arrow flame from flame index is equal to 41. Like that. And the arrow flame segment size is equal to 30. So it'll be 1 second of animation that's in a loop for the arrow flame. That could solve it. Before we make those changes though, let's comment these out for a second. Let's see what the problem is first so we can visually see it and then determine if it fixes it. So to do that, I need to go back to my data and I want to now take my fire, my flame, and get rid of that. So we're just going to isolating each one of these here and let's export this. Okay, initialize player data. And
Willie Shaker.
short bow. Good. Let's go to Thomasina.
Thomasina Cutterbuck.
Longbow. Do we see the fire? Oh, cool. Yeah, so see what's happening? That's the problem. When we fire it, though, the flame should go with the arrow.
That's a hit.
Yeah, so the flame moves with the arrow on the fire. So the whole purpose of doing this code right here, hold on, let's hide the scroll. The whole purpose of this code right here is so that when we fire, we are still in sync. By making it half of the other, you know, every time this does one, the other, every time this does two, the other animation will have gone through exactly one, by having the segment size exactly 1/2 of the other. And so I think that will work. Is that going to work or wait? We're going to, yeah, that's going to work. I think that's going to totally work. Well, that's theory at least. Let's try it out. Come back over to OBS and let's refresh the front overlay. Okay. Initialize player data.
Shaker. Thomasina.
Here comes her longbow. There's the fire. It does look cool that it lights up later. Roy's right on that. Switch to her dagger. That did not actually look good. I think I know why. I think it might look good sometimes, but not others. And the reason why is because, like, that time I think it worked, and the other time it shot a second early. Because deciding when to go is a decision that's made based on where it is in the frame rate. So make sure it gets all the way to the end and then plays to end on expire. Yeah, there's the bug right there. So I think the fix is finding out if we're a bow when we're expiring, then instead of expiring in anything less than, we always make sure that our expiration is at least 2 seconds out from the current time, I think. Now we have to see where we are in the other, where the frame index is in the other piece for that to work. Shoot. Let's see if we can figure that out. But the first part, the opening, is totally working, right? Bring that up. The fire goes with, tracks with the arrow. Yeah, that looks really sweet. Let's also give it a little bit of a hue shift here, I think, to make it really look like fire here. This hue shift should probably be from red to get to orange is maybe 30. See if that gets us a fiery kind of flame. Initialize player data.
Willie! Thomasina color block.
Yeah, I think that can work. It's not bad.
That is a hit.
Okay, so we need to figure out the dropping effect and something that with that. Trying to find out where those arrows are destroyed or the expiration date is sent. Let's see what's going on in load weapon. Start there. Okay, this is going to put it in all wind-up effects. Okay. Clear wind-up. Let's step through some code. Set a breakpoint here. Let's initialize player data. Okay. And zoom out here a little bit so we can see everything. At least see to Thomasina right there. We'll bring up Thomasina's longbow. We already got a hit on a breakpoint. Okay. Bring up the longbow. Okay. Run it. Run it. Okay. And it looks like the effects are delay loading, but there it is right there. So we have got the longbow is loaded and the fire is loaded. Oh, man. Yeah, we've got another problem, which is as it cycles through, it doesn't dissolve from the end to the I'm not sure what the frame rate is that you're getting on this, but it doesn't smoothly dissolve. So the fire is going to need a better solution. By frame 15 of that thing, when it's up there, we are going to need to have that fire problem solved. So I think we're going to have to regenerate the fire. I think that's the best solution to this. So instead of solving it that way, let's solve it the other way. Okay, let's see if we can solve that. How quickly can we do that? I need to take dinner to my mom's back in bed. Okay, Surly Dev. Good job taking care of your mom like that. What a good guy you are. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. I'm not sure what I'm going to do on this, actually. I do like how the fire kind of trails up as it comes up. I'm almost thinking of changing the animation so it's just got a slower lead time. Is what I'm thinking about doing. Yeah, hold on. I'm closing down After Effects, and I'm going into Adobe Premiere. And I'm thinking about doing is changing the animation speed up to the first loop back point. So the first, what is it, 11 frames? It's in 11 frames, that first animation is complete, and then stretching out the later one. That's what I'm thinking about doing, because that's not too hard to do. Okay, let's grab our weapons 3D. All right.
It's a hit.
We want to go enable the front. So the problem is that I think it's frame 11. Is that right? Because we're saying our return frame. Yeah, it was 11 as I recall. Wait, what's going on here? Let's go to load weapon. Is that the software used to make the special effects? Yeah, it is. It's essentially a game engine that we built on here. Return frame index. That's where we're jumping back to. So that's 11. So right here is where we want to be. If we drill into front set, it's playing the front up to this particular point here. Can we find that exact same spot in here? I'm not sure. What I'm not sure is what... I think, let's do this right here. So I'm going to take this, where we get to this point, and I'm going to stretch it, shrink it. I'm just not sure where the very start is. In other words, this is 0 here, but I don't know. I think we actually start several frames in when it starts to lift in. So I'm not sure what the very beginning of this is. Whoops, that's the wrong thing. I didn't do the longsword magic selected. I want to be up here at the top with the arrow. All right, arrow fire. Okay, so there's where it ends. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this, I'm going to shrink this over to about 1 second and 11 frames in. I'm going to not fill the gap just yet. I'm going to go back out to the special effects front set. And now let's just move it forward and backwards. Can we see it? There it is. So right here, we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frames away from the end. So now if I go back to my special effects front, I can drag this over 6 frames, and that should now sync up with the beginning of the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's double check that. Better. And then, okay, then we're blank. Now what I want to do is go back into special effects for the front. Now I need to go find the ending piece of this, or some piece before we move. Before we move down. And I need to cut it there because I want to stretch. Let's zoom out a little bit. Because I want to stretch this whole thing across that. So we're going to drop the frame rate down inside here for the fire a little bit. That's where we're starting to move it, right there. Okay? So that's where I cut it. Then I take this piece and drag it over. All right. So I've stretched that piece out. Now with those two changes, when we play this, our 11 seconds in, and then 60 frames later is going to be 2:11. They should be very similar to each other. There's 2:11, and that's 13. No? It looks like I didn't quite have this in the right spot. I'm going to adjust those pieces. Let's do this a little bit. Let's do this one a little bit. See how this looks right at that point. Better. So now we have that and that. Okay. Let's generate the arrow. Let's see what happens now. So wait, let's double check that at about 11 frames. 11 frames there. And at 2:11, which is about right there, it's about the same image. So this, I think, is going to look better. let's try it. Arrow flame. Entire sequence. Export. Next, we have to think about how we're going to solve ammunition. Because right now, I'm like, I've got a field. Let's see if we can bring this up. There's a field, I think in the weapons table. Ammo. It says what kind of ammo is needed. Bolt, arrow, bullet. Okay? So, but we're not doing anything with that yet. But we need to. We need to think about that. We need to count the ammo. We need to reduce the ammo as well. How are we doing here? Did that work? All right, let's minimize this a second. Let's... I can refresh, but I think once OBS has loaded graphics, it does not reload them. Also, I need to... I need to find the code that we had that was changing the return frame index. Here, this, and comment this out and refresh it again. Okay. Refresh again. Initialize data.
Willie Shaker! Thomasina Cutterbuck!
Longbow. Sweet. All right, let's roll the attack. Need the sound effect, but at least it's in sync. One more time. There's the dagger. There's the longbow. Yeah. Dagger. Longbow. I think I'd like to try making fun stuff for my stream at some point. What's it called? Like a Wiggles Effect XD. I think you're smiling. Are you talking about, when you're saying the special effects, are you talking about the special effects, the real ones here, or the crazy thing that's happening on my stream where it looks like I'm moving forward and backward through time? Because that's kind of looking a little bit like what I would call a Wiggles effect. So I think that's good. That's not bad. We've got a flaming arrow possibility now, or an ice arrow, right? We can create those kinds of effects. Switch to dagger. What's interesting is when I switch to dagger, I don't see Thomasina is ready to attack with her dagger. But I do see it when I switch to longbow.
Hit!
Yeah, just need an arrow shooting. So for some reason, yeah, the forward and back through time thing is a little bit stunning. I think it's a video driver problem, you know, similar to the flickering. But I actually see like progress bars in here. Like there's a progress bar when I roll the attack. When we come in and say, let's bring up the longbow, We say roll the attack, like that. There's a progress bar that shows up right behind. I'm not sure if this is streaming or not, but actually I can even see the dice. The dice roll forward and then they go back in time and go forward again. And this progress bar right here, it goes forward and then jumps back. It's like it appears to be a video driver problem, but stunning in terms of its thing it's doing with time by going forward and backwards. Not sure if this is showing up or not on the stream. My guess is it is not. All right. I think what I'm going to do, since we kind of got that working, I think I'm going to say, okay, let's save for tomorrow this whole idea of ammunition. How are we going to get ammunition and count and track ammunition? You know, use it so the player's got a certain number of a certain amount of ammunition, and then we check to see if that ammunition is available when we shoot, and maybe even give the player a choice if they have different kinds of ammunition. Which do you want to use? Do you want to use your ice arrows or your poison arrows? That sort of thing. So I think we'll save that for tomorrow. Let's see who else is out there on the stream, on the Live Coders team out there streaming. This takes a remarkable amount of time. Hey, Surly, we're about to raid another show. Here's where we got, by the way. Let's bring up there's the dagger. There's the longbow. Let's turn this off right here. Pause that. And then roll the attack. Send you out to Brian. Start the raid. Looks like he's kicking butt there. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Surly, see you tomorrow, buddy.